the McLaren has been here. We've seen the delivery some few weeks back. The car is just here, and there's nothing much as a difference from the livery and the car. But MCL38 is in its full glory, and the first thing I noticed, like I've always wanted to talk about in my podcast, is element of black. All the teams are saving weight. All the teams are saving weight. The element of black is poised. It's just there that they are saving weight. The yellow, that is the, I call this yellow or cyan, is just brightly placed in some strategic places that makes the car look bold, emboldened by the color. Now the black accent it has is just magnificent. But one thing I noticed from looking at the car from the front, almost all these cars are going from Aston Martin to Ferrari, now to McLaren. They're having a well-designed suspension. They are using a pull rod. The curvature of the suspension is quite beautiful. This is to generate some aerodynamics capability to improve the ride engagement, to make the car more flexible on corners and on straight line. Just look at that beautiful curvature. It's a little bit concave at the top, both the upper arm and the lower arm, and it looks beautiful from looking at it from the front. A much larger and wider body, but the air intake for the cooling system is pretty large. The large undercut on it to sit the radiator very well in the side pods. So cutting out through it, the air intake for the side pod is large, pretty cool, beautiful. The top, the air intake for the engine is also redesigned, much wider, and the beautiful cut angle. Yeah, most of these cars are redesigned, but I think McLaren carried over from last year. But the changes McLaren made, the same with Red Bull and Ferrari. That Mercedes flush, the cutout on the Mercedes from the side pod to flush it down, that flushing down is the same here. The way the wind will flush down through the rear of the car is the same for Mercedes, Red Bull, McLaren, and Ferrari. And I think, let me be sincere, this will be a real competition for top spots, because if they are all going the same design, I think they are all having the same philosophies, then these cars should be closer. Also, the floor of the cars will contribute, because last year I think Red Bull got 80% of their downforce from the floor. So the floor will determine a lot of these things, but these cars will race closer this season, I think. And looking at this car is beautiful from the side. The way it flushes down, the downwashing is beautiful. Then they have a large cut section underneath the side pod, which makes it look more striking, like the Ferrari, but it's a deep cut for the aerodynamic, which gives the floor a bulgy look. The rear suspension too has been redesigned from what we're seeing here, and the rear wings. And I think they also would have done a lot to deal with some of their overheating tire issues and something like that. They should have dealt with it. There are some tracks in which they didn't really have tire issues, but on some tracks they had that, but not all tracks. The beam wing also has been redesigned. The front wings has been redesigned and is more scoopier to give them the downforce they desire. All in all, they are still maintaining their driver lineup of Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, and this season will be a special season for them because these cars will race closer. The Mercedes, the Ferrari, the McLaren, and the Red Bull. Am I putting Aston Martin in the equation? Yet I won't say no and I won't say yes, because these four cars are having the same design philosophy on the body of the car, which is what the Mercedes did in their 14B last year. So let's see how they will race closer. But if Aston Martin going the same way and redesigning from what they did in 2022 and trying to improve on it will give them a better speed than another car or better downforce than another car, well, they might jump ahead. But these four cars are just looking extremely close in design, in shape, and the undercut section are looking the same. So they might be so close, and I think the championship will be close this season than it was in the last 2 seasons. And we are having 4 players or 5 players on the championship table to contend, and all the players are good players, and we are having close to 8 to 10 great drivers that will be competing for the coveted championship ring. And I hope it's going to be a good season for them with more accidents. Like, the season has started with so many crazy happenings, and I think it's going to be a great season that we're entering this season. The McLaren MCL38 is out and is strikingly looking competitive. So let's see how it performs in the first race in Bahrain. So we catch up with talk in the next video of Mercedes. Bye. Love you. Bye.